The trial of the three San Antonio police officers who were accused of murdering Melissa Perez has ended. The verdict is in, and I'm going to discuss why the verdict came out the way that it did. Stay tuned. This is a postscript video, and it looks at the ultimate result of a trial, and it looks at why the jury may have decided the way they did and what to make of it. It's a complete opinion, all my opinion, and that doesn't make it right. It just makes it my opinion. So take it for what it's worth. Let's get started. By now, you've probably all seen this footage.
Alejandro Flores, count 1 murder, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Alfred Flores not guilty of the offense of murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment in cause number 2023 CR 11510A. Number 2, aggravated assault, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Alfred Flores not guilty of the offense of aggravated assault as charged in count 2 of the indictment in cause number 2023 CR 11510A. Number 3, aggravated assault, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Alfred Flores not guilty of the offense of aggravated assault as charged in count 3 of the indictment in cause number 2023 CR 11510A. Number 4, deadly conduct, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Alfred Flores not guilty of the offense of deadly conduct as charged in count 4 of the indictment in cause number 2023 CR 11510A. Cause number 2023 CR 11510B, count 1 murder for Eleazar Alejandro, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Eleazar Alejandro not guilty of the offense of murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment and cause number 2023 CR 11510B. Count 2, aggravated assault, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Eleazar Alejandro not guilty of the offense of aggravated assault as charged in count 2 of the indictment and cause number 2023 CR 11510B. Count 3, aggravated assault, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Eleazar Alejandro not guilty of the offense of aggravated assault as charged in count 3 of the indictment and cause number 2023 CR 11510B. Count 4, deadly conduct, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Eleazar Alejandro not guilty of the offense of deadly conduct as charged in count 4 of the indictment and cause number 2023 CR 11510B. Cause number 2023 CR 11510C, Nathaniel Villalobos. Count 1, aggravated assault, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Nathaniel Villalobos not guilty of the offense of aggravated assault as charged in count 1 of the indictment and cause number 2023 CR 11510C. Count 2, deadly conduct, verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant Nathaniel Villalobos not guilty of the offense of deadly conduct as charged in count 2 of the indictment and cause number 2023 CR 11510C. Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
No, Judge. We don't wish to.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, members of the jury, what that means, the court finds that your verdict is unanimous verdict on each verdict for each defendant. Y'all may have a seat. With that, I'm going to go ahead and release you from your jury service. Your jury service is now complete. After I swore you in, I gave you some instructions. Those instructions included you not doing any sort of independent investigation, not talking about this case with anyone at all the things.
So why did the trial wind up this way? Well, I previewed some of it for you earlier in the closing argument video. The closing arguments were not especially well done. But more importantly than that, there was clearly a lack of evidence of any real intent of these people to harm Melissa Perez, but there was some evidence of Melissa Perez having an intention to harm them. Did they fire their guns much too quickly? Absolutely they did. Should they have waited and done something else, gotten a SWAT team, and essentially used the SWAT team to get her out of there? Probably so. But hindsight is always 20/20, and at the moment that they faced that woman who was swinging the hammer, They made a split-second decision that very nearly cost them the rest of their lives in prison. And it's important to recognize in a situation like that, when you're on the jury, what was in front of the officers, what they knew, and what they didn't know. I thought the information that was conveyed in closing was very helpful to the jury, allowing them to focus on where they could find reasonable doubt in this case. And essentially, this was a reasonable doubt case. One of the most effective arguments was this one.
It's very revealing that the state begins its presentation showing you evidence that we all now know was not known to these three men. I counted 10 minutes on a slide called How We Got Here, showing everything that happened that nobody told them. That's not fair. That's the deception here. The duty of that office isn't to just throw evidence in front of 12 members of this community and say, okay, you decide. Their duty is to do justice. They're the first stop. They're the filter. They're who bring cases to the grand jury. They should know when the evidence isn't there. That duty to seek justice? Apologies, counsel. That's not it.
That was good argument because it set up the rest of the closing argument, which dealt with this was a rush to judgment, this was a political prosecution, there was no probable cause, you shouldn't be here, we shouldn't be here, all of that. Now, this case has been kind of a cause célèbre in San Antonio, and there are a lot of people who feel these officers should have been convicted. But a lot of them probably didn't stay for all 21 days of the testimony in the case. They probably didn't understand all of the evidence that was presented, and they didn't have the benefit of bouncing it off 12 other people just like them. So the important thing to remember is that once the jury speaks, that's the verdict, and we have to understand that when that happens, the case is decided. And the jury, for whatever reason, gave them back their lives, which I think was another theme in the case. And then you have this argument, which I think made a point about an unfair and unjust prosecution.
Lisa Miller. Just click. Do you know who Officer Pedraza is?
Yes, I do.
Who is this gentleman?
He was the sergeant in charge of tactics and shooting at the police academy at the time that the shooting occurred.
Did you have an opportunity to talk to Sergeant Pedraza?
I did.
Did your conversation with Sergeant Pedraza help you form your opinions of not only Detective Soto's investigation, but also this prosecution?
It reinforced the conclusion that I had already reached, yes. Disturbingly so, yes.
What was disturbing about your conversation with Sergeant Pedraza?
That he was called to a meeting at the chief's office between 8:30 and 9 the morning of the 23rd, and that the administration had already made the decision to arrest the officers. That was like 2 hours after they finished getting statements from the officers. The decision had already been made to arrest them.
So at the end of the day, between the fact that the defense had numerous experts and the prosecution had no experts during its case in chief, and the one expert that they intended to call in their rebuttal case did not have appropriate disclosures to the defense, caused them to lose the one expert that could have perhaps shed some light on what the prosecution's theory of this case was, even though the prosecution had admitted to the officers' attorneys that this particular witness did not agree with them completely on all aspects of the case. So you wonder why in the world they would have rushed this to trial and tried to get this thing in front of a jury when they didn't really have the goods on these officers. And the answer comes, of course, in politics. Viva Frei, who is a He's actually a Canadian attorney who has come down here, does a lot of videos on a lot of different stuff. He's moved over now more from the legal side to the political side, so I don't watch him as much anymore. But he says, and wears a t-shirt that says, politics ruins everything. And you know, that ought to be the model on this channel. Politics ruins everything. It's why I don't do politics, because it does ruin everything. It makes people so cognizant of their own personal interest in a case that they lose sight of what the case is really about. And there was a way to get convictions in this case. I'm convinced of that. It may not have been pretty, but there was a way to get convictions. The prosecutors did not find it. And frankly, I don't want to say anything bad about my brothers in the bar, but if I had a case that I needed to get into court in small claims court in San Antonio, these guys wouldn't be the guys I picked. Maybe that's all the postscript we really need. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here today. If you have the opportunity today, try to do one kind thing to help somebody else. Any kind thing will do. Buy somebody a Coke. Get them a cup of coffee. Anything that makes their day better. That would be a way to help make the world a better place. Because after all, isn't that what we're all after? Now, YouTube has a few things that they think you might be interested in, and they're going to be showing you that right up there.